For me, my parents set an incredible example. And my father was so involved in community, as was my mother. And it carried over to me as well as my sister. It really started shortly after we moved back to Lynchburg, and I was teaching French at E.C. Glass. And that led to tutoring at the Florence Crittenden home. And then I got really involved with Point of Honor and chaired their advisory board. I think that all of those early things piqued my interest in wanting to be really involved in the community.
While she's, clearly very involved with Amazement Square, her recognition is definitely very appropriate because she has done so much for the community.
I think once you start volunteering, you get a feeling, golly, could I have made a difference in somebody's life? And I love volunteering. I absolutely love it. And I think that if you are able, I shouldn't say it's a responsibility, but for those of us who can, we should.
I grew up, I was raised in Lynchburg, I grew up here. We've lived in this house for 40-odd years, but it's only 4 blocks away from the house that I grew up in. And it's just, there's so much kindness here. We had friends here recently from New York and from Washington, and they were just sort of dismayed. They said, the friendliness of this town is terrific, and I think that's something we got to trade on.
Don is a leader, natural-born leader, and as we were organizing the bank, his leadership and knowledge of this community was just invaluable as to how we were forming as a fledgling effort. And his very interesting care and concern for the people of this region was a real part of how we came to have the philosophy that we do today, and that's to be a good corporate citizen.
For those of us who can, it becomes a passion, first of all. Once you get your foot wet, you really enjoy it and find it to be such a rewarding thing to be doing and being involved.
I'd say the greatest reward is the person who's
doing the volunteering.
Doing the volunteering and the outreach. I mean, Frances has a great saying. She says when she asks people for money and they, give till it hurts. Her thing is you just keep giving until it feels good.